Now we're going to be installing this chain and sprocket set. I have one extra tooth on this sprocket, which is going to increase my torque. Next step is going to be to remove the tire. I'm going to remove this pin out of this nut. And there's one more nut on this side. Alright, next thing we gotta do is pull this brake lever off. All we have to do is loosen this nut here and pull the brake lever off. I'm gonna use the end of my screwdriver to hit the other side of this long nut. There we go. Then I'm just gonna pull the chain to the side, pull the tire forward a little bit, slide her right on out. Since the chain is garbage to me, it's extremely stretched out, we're just gonna go ahead and cut her off with a 4-inch grinder wheel. Alright, I recommend wearing gloves. This wheel can do some damage to your skin and bones. These tabs, I kind of started bending them back already. We have to fold them back so we can get to the nuts on here. And if you can see how worn out my teeth are, I have stripped them off completely. And they're all leaning in one direction. Should have changed this a long time ago. But the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to slip this right off. Okay, and use an air gun on this, okay? It's gonna make your life a lot easier. Cleaned all our parts. Grease is gone out of the bearings, okay? Use the greaser, water, blah blah blah. So now got bearing grease. Okay. Put some right on my hand. Apply it generously. Okay. And up top too, get this bearing. Here's our sprocket. I think it's 42 tooth. I didn't change the size of this one. Okay. Make sure we put our little safety nut tabs in. Okay. We're gonna start all this by hand. We're going to use the gun, so you don't want to strip it. Start threading it with your fingers first. Okay. Grab our air gun. And we're just going to do this gently. Okay. Nothing too tight. Okay, that's how we're going to fold our tabs back. I'm going to put these little balancers back in here. And that's where the sprocket plate goes back on. Okay, it's self-explanatory. There's no other way you can put these back in. There's only one way to put them in. Okay. Oh, see? Impossible to put any other direction. And I'm probably gonna have to put this on the ground because these tabs are gonna squeeze right between everywhere. Nope, got it. Just a little bit of wiggling. Then, very simple. Put our drum brake back on. Okay, it just slips on. Don't forget to lube your bearing. Okay, that's it. We got our rear sprocket ready to go. A metric Allen key socket. Alright? Metric. You can't use standard shit. You're gonna strip everything. This is a Yamaha, means it's foreign, and they're gonna be using metric. Everybody says, oh, I think I can unscrew it with just the Allen keys I got in my house. Next thing you know, you've stripped every damn screw on your bike. And never over tighten anything on your bike either. Everything, some of these plates on the engine are magnesium, sometimes aluminum, and they strip very easily. Okay, we got our cover plate hanging. Yep. We got one more piece to take off. I gotta take off our the shifter. There's a nut right underneath here, or a screw. I'm gonna use my impact drill. Take off these two nuts. Everything's a little loosey goosey on there. Okay, got her off. Next one. If you wanted to and you don't have an impact, you can stick something in there safely so it doesn't shake around too violently, and you can use a ratchet to take that stuff off, or you can put a screwdriver or whatever to hold it, as long as you don't ruin anything. Now you twist this a little bit and fit the slots, and it should come off. Okay, a little third turn, not even 1/8 turn, and it'll slip off. Okay, now we kind of wiggle this off. The whole wheel well up and back here where the wheel sits, this whole zone, and I'm gonna spray this. I don't want to be advertising or anything, but you know that W, you know, it's a dirt and dust resistant dry lube. I'm gonna blast it in the joints where bearings sit, and on that tire where the seal bearing. Okay, probably come back and probably add lube like twice to it. This is a socket wrench extension. Fits perfectly in the teeth. Okay. I screwed these in by hand already to make sure I don't strip my teeth. Alright. There's alignment tools on the bike. Get your tire to slide up, if you can see right there. That should slide right in that slot. Okay. There we go. Then lift the tire a little bit, find the proper slot. Wiggle and jiggle all the way through. Okay, there's a few different pieces in there, so you might catch a couple of them before you get it all the way through. Alright. Screws through, but you gotta put the spacer on. Alright, we've run the chain from the top of the sprocket, back wheel, up top, around the little sprocket. Now I have the links right here. We don't need a chain tool. Okay, just make sure the chain's running through the proper zones and you don't miss where it's supposed to be sitting, like here. The chain has to run through this guide. Simply slide everything in. Okay. It's pretty simple. Slide that up. Okay. Got ourselves a little pair of pliers. We're going to grab the bottom and the top of this little piece of metal here, and we're just going to squeeze. There you have it. Chain is connected. Now, okay, we're going to loosen the tire back up. Chain's a little tight, so we're going to fit the chain on the sprocket first before we put any of the bolts on, because the chain is extremely tight. Okay. Alright, once we have it fitted around the whole sprocket, run giant screw back through. There we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Got her in. Don't forget the spacer on the other side. Alright. Before I put anything on, check this all out. It spins real nice. Okay. Put the tensioner on. Make sure you see the numbers. There's only one way to put it on. Okay, I'm going to put it on number 1. Number 1. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1. Okay. We're going to do the same on the other side. One. Now we're going to proceed to tighten these nuts now. We're just going to snug it up, okay? We're going to check the tension on our chain, okay? So, we're probably gonna, it's a little tight. See, there's no movement there. A little tight. Once we sit down on the bike, it's going to compress the suspension and tighten it more. So instead of being on 1, we're going to go on 0.5. There's one little hump right there. We're going to set it to 0.5 instead of 1. Okay? Both sides. Go ahead, set it to 0.5. Okay, there's also 0, but 0.5. Let's check tension. Okay, we got good play. Anything looser than that is probably no good. There's proper measurements and stuff for this, but I always eyeball it. Once you sit down on the bike and compress a little bit, then you reach back and do the same thing. And if it feels, the next step would be to put the back brake foot lever on. Right, simply put it on, tighten the screw. You're gonna want to loosen this up and set her in a proper position and readjust everything again. Okay, our next step is to put the cover plate back on before the foot lever shift. One screw is longer than the other. Short screw goes on top. Okay. Don't over tighten. Next step, shift lever. Alright. This usually sits at your preference.